I grew up in California in a very traditional Catholic family, so religion was always just kind of going through the motions, and I was brought up thinking that faith really doesn't get anything done. It's hard work that really just brings success in life. So throughout my childhood years, I truly believed that my identity was in my grades and my personal success. And so once my dad retired from the military, we moved to Lewiston, Idaho, and I hit a low point in my life. And for the next year, I was kind of lost until I met Taylor, and she really truly showed me what a Jesus-centered relationship looked like. After I graduated high school, Taylor and I moved to Pocatello, and I started going to Idaho State University to go to college. And despite me being a non-believer, she forced me to go to a church called Resonate. And I really enjoyed hanging out with the people there. I didn't really buy into what they were saying, but I kept coming around because I enjoyed who they were as people. I always pressured myself into trying to do the best that I can in school so that in my future I could be as successful as possible. But after every test, every exam, I would get really good grades, and I'd feel good for maybe a day or so afterwards. And then after that, there would still be an empty feeling in my heart. Something was missing. I always thought there has to be something more to life than this. It just wasn't fulfilling me anymore, even though that's how I was brought up, getting told you need to work your hardest, try your best in school, and you'll be happy, but it just wasn't coming true in my case. Eventually, Matt invited me into a grow book with some guys, and I started to learn about who Jesus really was. And I knew there was an empty spot in my heart. Anytime I talked about something spiritual, I felt really emotional, like something was missing in me. And so I kept going to grow book and just learned who Jesus was, and it was really eye-opening. And then one day, Juan and Matt invited me to McDonald's to go to lunch, just on a whim, and we started talking about spiritual things. And then finally the topic was brought up. Juan said, what's holding you back, man? You've been hanging out with us for a year and you still haven't accepted Jesus. And I just said that I felt that I didn't understand everything about Jesus, and so I wasn't qualified enough to be a Christian. And they both reassured me that you don't have to have everything figured out. All you need to do is just love Jesus. And Juan mentioned a verse from John 15 about the withered branch without the vine, who is Jesus. And I felt like that withered branch without Jesus, so I didn't want to be that withered branch anymore. So I prayed that Jesus be the Lord of my life, and I prayed that he would accept me even though I'm not perfect, because now I know that Jesus lived the perfect life for me so that I don't have to. So I really don't have to know anything or know everything. I read in a chapter in Grow Book that Jesus can be compared to someone who pays off a huge debt that you owe to the mafia. Even though you don't deserve it, he does it anyways. And so Jesus is kind of like that guy that just paid off all my debts in my life, even though I didn't deserve it. I've been cleansed thanks to him, and I'm truly grateful. After experiencing Jesus, I've really been enjoying prayer a lot more and deepening my relationship with God, especially with a group of guys like Grow Book. I have a group of guys that I can tell anything to, and who can hold me accountable to the high standards that Christian men are held to. I really appreciate that aspect of Christianity. My name is Marcus Geckner, and I have decided to follow Jesus.